Hey y'all, it's your girl, Ganjane, and we about to get into episode 11, so let's do it. All right, y'all. So before I begin on my review, I just want to say I hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving this past week. I know I did. I was scarfing food down left and right. Do you hear me? I was in heaven, child. Alrighty, let's get into it. So the episode begins with Mariah and Smiley. It was a continuation of the fight that had started at the end of episode 10. Suki and Sapphire basically was egging her on to kind of fight her for her chain because she took hers basically. So I guess to get her lick back or whatever. And Mariah was unsuccessful, so Sapphire decided to take matters into her own hands for some reason. I still don't understand why she's inserting herself into shit that has nothing to do with her, but I digress. So Sapphire literally put this girl in a headlock, child. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Then she slams her to the ground, girl. I'm like, what is this? Is this Baddies or WWE? But anyway, Sapphire ends up getting the chain from Smiley. And then she proceeds to put it on Mariah's neck. And they start celebrating and whatnot. It was just ghetto. Sapphire and Suki made it clear that, they're not huge fans of people that are bullies. And they felt like Smiley was bullying Mariah. Which I understand. But I just feel like two wrongs don't make a right. I feel like they could have went about it a whole nother way. I know for me, if it wasn't my chain, then it's not my business. Not my monkey, not my circus. But I think they knew that Mariah wasn't going to be able to do it herself. So that's why they kind of stepped in, but still. Smiley had allegedly just had a miscarriage, so she kept saying that the whole time, I just had a miscarriage, yo. Well, you really should have thought about that before you was on social media talking all that shit. I really honestly don't feel bad for Smiley. And to be honest, if I had a miscarriage while on the show, I'm not gonna be on the show. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna focus on getting my health together and getting back right. Or at least take a week off from filming because obviously you're not in the best shape, health-wise, so why put yourself at risk or anything like that? I don't know. I don't get it. What this show is about. Baddies, when people think baddies, you think fighting, liquor, things going left real fast, 0 to 100, literally. So I don't know, she was literally, there was scenes where she was, holding her stomach and whatnot. So I just feel like she could have took at least, a week off to kind of get herself, together. But I do want to point out that last episode, Suki had said that she plays victim a lot, and she's definitely right about that. She just starts crying, and she's so upset, oh, I just had a miscarriage. Why would they do that? That's messed up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Well, I mean, you was popping your shit on the internet. Internet gangster. So, don't just talk about it, be about it at this point. Put your money where your mouth is. You big and bad, right? So anyways, the girls get dressed and head to Club Nodo. I was really hoping that Rolly would change out of them damn Daisy Dukes, but she kept them on. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Rolly is a beautiful girl, but I just think the shorts look extremely tacky. Girl, she done got a BBL and a couple surgeries and don't know how to act, child. She said, I'm gonna show this ass. But they arrived to Club Nodo. for literally like a few minutes, and then they get kicked out. Natalie said, and I quote, that it became a whole thing, so we had to go. I really didn't understand what happened or why they got kicked out. It seemed to be lit at first, and then all of a sudden they got kicked out. I'm like, it became a whole thing. Care to elaborate? But I have a feeling that it may have something to do with this. Like, Suki just be whipping her girls out. Like, girl, this is not a strip joint. Not every venue is going to be okay with that, you know? So I'm just taking a little guess here. But yeah, I just feel like she did a little bit too much. So the next day, the girls head to New York. While on the Sprinter, Biggie was asked how she feels about being a replacement. Biggie basically denies this and says she feels like she should have been a part of the original cast. Yeah, I'm gonna need her to be fucking for real. You can feel like you should have been a part of this from the beginning, but that still doesn't mean that you're not a replacement. At the end of the day, a few of the girls left from the original cast and they called you to replace them. I mean, it doesn't get more simpler than that. I just feel like she's in denial and she's a tad bit delulu. Nat and the girls that's been staying with her head to a private jet. To be so honest, I don't get why Nat's taking half of the girls on a PJ and then taking the rest of the girls on a Sprinter. Like, me personally, I would feel some type of way. Then she puts the girls in the Sprinter in like this log cabin looking house while they get this like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air looking house. Like, I don't know. I don't even understand why they're getting separate houses in the first place. Like, okay, yeah, some of the girls are beefing, but I mean, it's Baddies. Like, you know, whatever, it's up. Then Nat calls her house the real Baddies house. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, so what does that make the other house? So are you insinuating that you don't like the other girls? Like, I don't know, I'm confused. But anyways, all of the girls meet up at Natalie's house. Rolly immediately checks Smiley for talking shit once again on social media. I guess Smiley was on social media saying that she was jumped, and she said that Rolly and E.T. helped jump her as well. Then immediately after their back and forth, Sapphire decides to confront Smiley. I feel that Sapphire doesn't really care for her because of how she texted Suki's phone. Like, Sukiana really felt a way about that and felt like she was trying to press her, like trying to start something, you know? But me personally, I don't feel like it was really that deep. Like, the girl already admitted to it. I believe she had apologized as well. So after the apology, it should have been over and done. But in the midst of the conversation, Smiley did end up giving Mariah Lynn back her pendant to her chain. But the argument continued. Sapphire was pretty much pissed and she was not letting up. Like, she's like, I'm going to fight you at this point. But Smiley was not trying to fight. Like, she tried to talk to Natalie and was like, yo, this is some weird shit. Like, you know? But Natalie was basically like, no, she's sick of it. Like, you know, there's tons of evidence that shows that you've been messy on the internet. And so at this point, either fight or leave. But since she couldn't make a decision on time, Sapphire made it for her, child, and ran up with the squabble. Now, I don't know how to feel about Sapphire because part of me feels like she just wants camera time, but then a part of me feels like she just wants to stick up for her friend. And I find it funny how Suki and Sapphire be trying to preach about sisterhood, but it's like, it's not giving sisterhood. Like, Y'all are in two separate houses. Y'all always fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, a sisterhood means everybody's getting along, all women sticking together. That's what I think of when I hear the word sisterhood. If anything, it's giving Gross Sisters. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of my review. We shall see what happens next week. It is definitely getting interesting. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe for your girl. And I'll see you in the next one.